Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the SDFC Fancast.
Huzzah!
It's Sunday night. We all know what that means. Means we're hanging out. Every time. Okay.
Just keep it
One
going.
more time.
Huzzah!
Chris, can you give me some
Appreciate it.
noodles when you have a minute? You seem to be in some sort of...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Your background
Audio
has changed
only,
today.
folks. My background looks like a nice little Japanese market or something.
Yeah,
So
I
if you
like
need
it.
some ramen, some yakisoba,
Little sake.
arigato gozaimashita.
Ooh.
There's a restaurant called
wow.
Snake, SNEK.
Mm.
Looks interesting.
They serve snake.
Hey, looks fun. Looks fun. I've seen every time I think about eating snake, I think about Walker, Texas Ranger, because there's an episode where he kicks a snake to death and then he cooks it for him and a boy that are lost in the forest.
That's amazing. Probably the greatest show ever made.
Oh, it's so good. Like the Haley Joel Osment part where he's like, Walker told me I have AIDS.
Yeah.
It was like Conan O'Brien bit for a while. Yeah.
So
Oh,
crazy.
dude, the Walker Texas Ranger handle or lever.
Yeah, you're like,
That was
on
the
to our next
best.
bit.
Conan?
And you pull the handle.
Yeah, and he was looking all excited, like,
Yeah.
oh man, I might
so
have
anyway.
to edit in a clip of that.
Good, do it. But no, I take it everybody had a good weekend. I did. I went to a Chrome Ball event. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, thank you for holding it down for us, man. I can't speak for Keegan and Trevor. I know Colin's in Montana, but I had a prior engagement, so I apologize. But it sounds like it was pretty productive for you.
It was fun. I mean, it was, even though it was rainy, it was still well attended. And like I said, it was fun. It's cool to just hang out and chit chat with everybody. I had an extra chair. People would just come through and sit. I bought a $50 canopy from Walmart on my way down, and it worked out great. I did bring a camera to get some footage, but it just wasn't. It was way too wet, and I was getting the lay of the land. Messed around. All I had was a little handwritten sign.
I was just gonna say, I'm
So
for
I'll
sure
send
gonna.
you that picture, Chris.
Yeah, I will edit in the picture of the sign. This portion
Nice
of the
little
podcast.
touch.
And yes, of course, like I said, it's handwritten for those audio listeners. So as you can imagine, it's amazing. But the conversations were great. One thing that was exciting is I bought a new scarf. I'll explain
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It's white, and it has lines, like wavy lines that are all different colors. I love it. It matches a bunch of my clothing. Oh, I love the merch so far. It's so good.
Merch
Speaking
is
of merch,
incredible.
Keegan and Trevor's mom, also Colin and I's second mom, Terror Bear, went to the store in Mission Valley and dropped the pod on there, and they said cruise down, get some merch, take some footage, and talk about the pod down there. So we got to do that. She also
hell yeah.
bought a shitload of merch too. So
Yeah.
Good honor.
Road trip.
I gotta get some wireless mics for that camera I got, but I want to do it because I'll be living close. I know I mentioned it like a million times, so I'm excited, but I'm excited. One thing that was cool that I learned, so the art was done by Shannon and her dad, Doug Fulton, and Doug lives in Santee, and they're San Diego natives, but he also used to coach her in soccer, so they have a soccer history and a soccer background. I watched the behind the design video on YouTube, which was pretty good. And that was cool. I really liked the design with the drive-in and the swap meets. I used to go to both as a kid, and they're not going to be there anymore, so it's a good homage to those, which was dope. But one thing
really
that I
cool.
also learned is at Snapdragon, Shannon has a mural there too at the stadium. And it's already there, and I've seen it and did not realize that's who it was. And it's the Tony Gwynn quote, the one that said, "Remember these two things, play hard and have fun."
That's awesome.
nice.
No, it's actually super sick.
That was Keegan's motto for the creepy corner in high school.
Still is.
Those little behind the crest things that they do on YouTube when they're diving into the artist, I watched that same one. They're really cool. They just give a little insight to who's doing the art, like the art for that.
They're
that Chrome
perfect,
Ball
and they're
thought.
just a few minutes long. They're worth a watch.
Totally.
100%.
Yeah.
But another thing they did this blew me away, right? So it was raining. As soon as I got there, it started raining. So I set up right in time. And so most of the day, I got there around noon. I was late, but I got there and the tournament was in full swing. So it was men, women, boys, girls, and there was 16 men full teams, boys 16 teams, and then women's was 8 and 8 for the women's and girls fully. Like, and you could do up to
Wow.
I think 16 or 18 players per team. So it was insane. Like the attendance was crazy for just the tournament itself, and they were really good players playing. Like, yeah,
That's
they're
awesome.
really good. You guys should
The fact
watch
that they're
it.
having, the fact they're having these, like we've talked about every stop, the soccer tournaments, skate tournaments, it's freaking
Oh,
so
dude.
cool.
And they had this little a little like trophy, and it was a little plate, like a chrome, I don't know, shield with the SDFC cred, this flow in the middle of it. It was pretty cool. Watch the video with it. But they did the teams that won. La Masia was the men's team. Hoga Benitez was women's. Tigres SD was boys, and Blue Wave was the girls' team. So congratulations to those teams.
Oh, well
Good
done.
Congrats.
job.
Congrats, folks.
But now people
That's
were playing
awesome.
hard. They were taking it seriously. It was cool.
I saw some of the highlights. SDFC, their Instagram was going off on their story was going off on Saturday. I was looking for you actually, Nate. Didn't see you. I saw a bunch of Riptide people and all the supporters and stuff. But yeah, they had some highlights and people can play.
I'll draw more
Jealous.
attention to myself at the Carlsbad event, which is the 24th, because I'll be attending that one.
Heck yeah.
But now I got the lay of the land. I'll have, I looked up how to print some pennants and posters and all that type of stuff. So I'll get us some stuff to show off at the next place. I don't know if there will be as much space as there was at this one. I was told space might be a little more limited, so might figure out bringing a smaller pop up or something. But I'll squeeze my way in one way or the other.
How was the crowd size compared to like Poway, Esco, all the other ones, Nate? Even though because it's raining, so
it was more spread out, so I couldn't quite tell like a total number, but it looked like about the same amount of attendance. There was way more people than I thought there was going to be that came through. It was pretty steady foot traffic until the very end.
that's great.
Even my little handwritten sign, and actually me making ground beef tacos right there on a camp stove, super redneck style, that drew some attention. I'm sure I can understand why the social media crew stayed away from my tent, but whatever, we'll do it our style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
that's
was
awesome.
fun. Yeah, it
Especially
was
because
cool.
it was raining. I thought they might have a super low turnout with the rain. So the fact that they still turned out that's really good for the team because
And
San
it was
Diegans are bitches when it comes to rain. So
dude,
Sure.
yes, we are. And I was actually going to make a joke. I was going to make a Californian style joke because I was going to say it was really pretty drive on the way there. And I was going to be like, I took the 78 down to the 15 and the 52 east. But actually going through the hills on the 52 into Santee was really pretty. And Santee has blown the F up, y'all. Last time I went out there was to wrestle in 2008. So it is a lot different than it was in 2008, that's for sure.
You were wrestling in 2008?
Or 2003. Did I say
Okay.
2008?
I
I meant 2003.
We graduated in 04.
Oh my goodness.
Nate
See, that's how old I am.
Nate,
Lost
21
track of
jump.
time.
21 jump streets it and goes back into high school as a grown man, just
Oh my
kicking kids'
God.
asses.
yeah, just killing all these high school kids.
Freshman.
Dude, isn't it crazy? Like the premise of that is like there's a drug ring or a criminal ring so advanced that somebody needs to infiltrate a high school. Like a high school? Are you serious?
It's a good premise. I don't
The cartels are nothing. These 15-year-old
I know.
children.
Okay, Johnny Depp. But apart from that, of course, not a ton of SDFC news, but a lot of speculation that we can do. Which one of the things I want to talk about is a potential coach search. Reading more up on the academy and talking to folks about the Right to Dream Academy, it feels like the coach isn't as important as maybe other styles or other approaches. For instance, like Northland, right, is owned by Right to Dream, and they go by that style. Their current head coach started as a youth coach there, and then he was the assistant coach, and he worked his way up to manager. And to me, that just says that they have a style they play, and if you fit it, like, I brought up Red Bulls before, which I don't know if it's quite right. I don't think that's the right one, but I don't feel like the coaches are as important. So I don't think it's going to matter whoever the coach is, right? What do you guys think?
I feel like this goes back to what I was saying on, I don't know, it was one of our first episodes where the coach aspect of it kind of concerns me. But I mean, if the system works and it's successful, then great. But I'd also like to have a manager with some experience, or I mean, I'll go coach him, see what happens.
That'd be amazing. If you do, let me know. Give me an inside track.
How is FC Northland doing?
They're in 4th place right now in their respective league.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's going to be kind of a proof in the pudding sort of thing. Like we're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, I hope the style of play that the Right to Dream is instilling in SDFC will be successful for us, regardless of who's coaching. That way, we don't even have to rely on a coach, so to speak. But at the same time, I feel like you always need a leader of men up there. So, I don't know.
I don't
What are
know
your guys'
either.
thoughts?
What's what's FC Northland's style of play? Like their manager, have they had a big turnover of managers and everything? Are they thinking about bringing someone over? What is
That's the thing, is it seems like they produce talent, but it seems like every time this player has a decent season or a decent few seasons, maybe they get picked up. Is it the same for the coach? I don't know. And that's something that I need to do more research on. I don't need to, but I would like to. Check that team out more and get more familiar with them, because I've only been able to stream a couple of the games. It's kind of hard to watch a few of the games. So maybe it'd be cool to find them accessible on YouTube or something like that, to try and, again, the more familiar we get with the team, I guess the more familiar with the Right to Dream, because they just seem to have their stamp on everything. They kind of own what players come in and what coaches come in. So it'd be nice to get to know what they're all about. But that's what it kind of feels like, just doing research on Wikipedia and checking scores and all that stuff. Gleaning as much information as I can that way.
Guess who their player coach is? Former Chelsea player. Hit a banger from way outside. It was one of the top 10 goals of the season. Michael S.D.F.C.
Oh yeah, because he's from Ghana.
Yeah, so
he's for the Ghana boys.
He's their FC Northland's player coach. That's cool.
I'd be curious though. Is it are they very strict on almost by managing by committee? Like they say, this is the established way we're going to play the game. They don't want a manager to come in to kind of have his own way, change the formula. That's
that'd be my guess. They don't want somebody to come in no Jose Mourinho is going to come in and change the system. They're not going to get somebody like that, right? They're not going to want somebody like that. A Thomas Tuchel who's stubborn and does it his way, or Conte like that. That I guess is totally out of the question. But I don't know. Then who does have the power?
Yeah, I was just feeling like I'm of the mind that like 2 to 3 to 4 years, I'm giving them a grace period as far as San Diego FC. I don't really. I'm gonna just trust in the system that they're trying to bring and build. I don't have a ton of expectations to begin with, so I'm I just go to it. Yeah, the coach. I don't really think, from my perspective, that it matters hugely. I'm just curious to see what the system is and brings, and give the academy, a couple 3 years to actually develop and do its thing and garnish an audience and supporter group, and then maybe bring in a coach who's been around and then for a while. But I'm just it's just kind of house money for the next couple 3 years is how I look at it, quite frankly.
Yeah, just the excitement that there's a team here. I get that for sure. And no, I'm not expecting right away we got to win the cup the first season. But you know what? If we don't win the cup the first season, failure. You guys are all a bunch of failures. No, just joking. I'm joking.
I'm just looking at their results, FC Northland.
Yeah.
And their stadium's called Right to Dream Park, by the way. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, they score some goals. So if nothing else, it sounds like the Right to Dream style is will probably be very exciting to watch. I mean, they have like 7-0, 5-0, 3-0, 5-0, 5-0, 7-1. Like lots
Damn.
of goals.
Wow.
Pumped.
Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the players that went to that the players that I've seen so far go over to Europe and scoring. Kudos, fella from Brighton. But also, you know what? I get excited and I was like, oh hell yeah, San Diego. He's part of that same academy, Right to Dream, that same pipeline. But at the same time, stop buying the fucking players. Let San Diego FC get those players. You know what I'm saying? Why aren't we getting these players right now? Just sign them all. Every good player from Northland and shit.
I wouldn't be
sign 'em.
surprised if there's like
Yeah.
some behind the scenes shit going on, like, yeah, look, these guys, we're gonna bring them on after this year, but we're not gonna tell anybody.
Yeah.
Because we're
I want-
cheeky.
I'm
And that's
excited. I
showbiz,
want
baby.
some news. I want some news. Yeah.
I hear that.
I don't know.
Because if they're on one year deal, halfway through the season, they could sign with us for the next year. Let them play over there, get experience,
Yeah,
and
that's
flip
another
over
thing.
here.
Are they part of? Is it? Do we have to sign them during the transfer window because they're in the, the league in Denmark and stuff? I don't know rules. I
Yeah.
don't want to know rules. I just want to watch soccer. I just want to read about WAG gossip. Keegan,
I
you know
agree.
what WAG gossip is?
Yeah, I think
It's the
It's the
unfortunately
wife
I
and
do.
girlfriend gossip.
Yeah,
Yeah, Chris.
okay,
Wow.
I want to, yeah.
I'm not interested in that at all.
I am. Give me some MLS stuff. Like I want to
Yeah.
know about whoever's listening that is more knowledgeable about WAG MLS gossip. Fill me in, please. Which wives don't like each other? Which ones are on group chats together? Let me know. I want to know. I'm down.
Real Housewives of San Diego FC.
Dude, oh yes, let's do it. We should start you know what? We should do a fake TV show like that and wear wigs and it'd be fun. Pretend that we're married to soccer players.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, let's do it, Chris. I can tell you're excited by the look on your face.
Very excited. Very excited to
Yep.
be here.
Chris, you brought up the goal for Toronto. Well, I'm switching to MLS news. That was it for me on SDFC Northland stuff. Right to Dream. We'll get there. We'll get some news soon. I can feel it in my gut. But yeah, Chris, you told me about that Toronto FC goal. Can you explain it to the folks?
It was just a cheeky little chip from Lorenzo Insigne. It was just a chip, but it was a very, very fancy chip from normally. I don't know. It was inside the box, and there were a lot of defenders around. The keeper was relatively close, and it looked like there was absolutely no angle that he could possibly score with a chip, and somehow he did. So I'll see if I can post a little clip here of it in
The
post,
dummy.
as they say.
The dummy
It
that
was
the
a crazy
guy in front of him
finesse goal.
had to give him the pass was pretty dope.
Yeah, that was a good play. Did anybody watch the snow game?
I was just going to bring that up. So I was talking to Colin about this via text, I believe, but let's just bring up this deal here where people think that soccer is soft.
I
I mean,
okay, have
this
at it,
just-
Christopher.
This just
Floor is
drives
yours.
me off the wall angry. No, I mean, people think soccer's soft. It's crazy because, aside from football and rugby, it's probably the most contact-heavy sport of them all. You have Peter Cech smashing his head against a goalpost and being unconscious for 10 minutes, wearing a skull cap for the rest of his career. I saw Wayne Rooney get cleated on the thigh, and it looked like a paper plate-sized gash on his leg, bleeding everywhere. I mean, there's concussions every game. I mean, there's so much more contact than people give the respect for soccer. So it's crazy. It's a contact sport. And for people who say that it isn't, fuck off. But the snow game was wild. So that's another thing. They play snow games in football, but they don't in baseball. They don't in every other sport, but they do in soccer. And this was awesome. I'm done.
No, I didn't watch.
trip.
I didn't watch any of it. I saw that Real Salt Lake. I just saw the score. Ended Real Salt Lake 1-3-0. They were playing LAFC, right?
Yep.
And LAFC, I can't imagine people in LA are used to the snow. I mean, people in San Diego are bitches about rain. You got to imagine how Southern California people are about snow. But Real Salt Lake got a red card at the end, 2 yellows. But apart from that, pretty solid performance. I saw a funny GIF on the MLS subreddit, and it was Kevin McAllister waving out the window as they're arresting Joe Pesci, and the snow's falling.
That's awesome. They won 3-0, by the way. I don't know if that was mentioned. Real Salt Lake won 3-0. But it was just the pitch was covered in snow. It was really cool to see. Colin, you watched some of it, right?
Yeah, it was a trip. I wasn't sure where it was played, and I was thinking, like, I heard it was 15 minutes delayed because of some sort of weather event, and we had gotten snow here in Montana, and they're not super far. And I was like, they're probably playing in Salt Lake City, not in LA. Sure enough, I turned it on. I'd never seen a soccer game that white before. That was crazy.
It reminded me of a Clint Dempsey goal from back in the day. Nate, I know you know what I'm talking about, where he scored a sick goal in the snow.
Oh no, I was thinking of the qualifier we had against, I think, Costa Rica
on the same
in
page,
Denver,
knocking the ball around, but
where it
watch
was
Dempsey
snowing.
knocks it off, follows
I
the play in
remember
in the
that.
right spot at the right
Got
time.
the winner, and I remember Costa
Perfect
Ricans
start
were
for the
pretty mad about
Americans.
that game, saying it should have been canceled. But that was what it reminded me of. I was also thinking, dang, that's what Miami must have looked like in the 80s. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Cocaine, guys. He's talking about cocaine, in case anyone didn't get that.
Other MLS stuff. Carlos, and speaking of LAFC, Carlos Vela might be going back there because he left. Was going to go to San Jose. Was a big rumor, which is interesting to me. They're going to pull Carlos Vela, but maybe back to LAFC now. Not going back to Mexico. I read. So I don't know. We'll see that team. I don't know how good was he last season. Did you guys watch him last season?
I didn't really watch it, but I thought I remember seeing his name flash up on the highlights here and there. But
I mean, yeah,
he's always been a sweet player.
Yeah, led to the final, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought he was solid. I'm sure he was solid.
I was surprised to hear that he left. Maybe it's like money issues, contract stuff, as opposed to like his actual acumen on the field or what he's producing right now.
He started 2022 season, so into that obviously bled into the 2023 season, but the opening game of that season he had a hat trick, so obviously can still score goals.
Yeah, look at that. DeAndre Yedlin's going to Cincinnati, I read. Hopefully that boosts my chance.
Whoa.
Hopefully that boosts my chance because that's who I picked to win the cup. And I'm going to write it on the chalkboard. When I get my new setup, maybe next episode. I think next episode. If not, the episode after, I'll have my new setup. I'll have a chalkboard up with a list of who everyone chose and all that stuff. A tally of who's won the quiz games and all that jive. Then you guys can sit there and stare at it and be embarrassed whoever's in last place.
That is one thing I'll say that's cool about MLS as opposed to every other league in the world is there's trades like how we have here in American sports. Like you don't really have that in the Premier League. Like sometimes there's exchanges, but this is like a full-on trade between Inter Miami and Cincinnati for Yedlin. So that's pretty cool. That's crazy. We were just talking about how Yedlin and Jordi Alba were like the top, backs for Miami amongst all of MLS, and he got him, Yedlin.
Hell yeah. Good. Pick him up. Put him on my fantasy team. So another MLS news, the ref lockout is still happening with all that stuff, the dispute. I want to talk about an article I saw with The Athletic. This is crazy headline to me. It said MLS instructed broadcasters not to belabor referee commentary amid lockout, which it's crazy that the league is telling the broadcasters, well, it's not that crazy. It bothers me that the league is telling the broadcasters what they can and can't say. But it said MLS sent memos to TV and radio broadcasters this weekend not to belabor the point when addressing the lockout between the PSRA and the Professional Referee Organization. Fans tune in to watch and listen to the game, the memo read in part. They aren't focused on the officials. Therefore, we don't believe it's necessary to belabor the point during the match. It is best to mention the situation in the pregame and move on. So you guys, if a ref totally misses a total blatant call, don't talk about it. All right? Nobody wants to hear about that.
Wow.
Nobody cares. When your team totally gets fucked over at the end of a game because the ref can't see the ball went out off somebody's leg very obviously or something, don't talk about it because nobody wants to belabor the point. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. That's so dumb.
Crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that's just crazy to me. Like, that is big news. And you can't just say that's not big news, MLS, because you don't want it to be big news. Okay? It is. That's a big deal. All right? When your refs don't know what they're doing. And you're supposed to be this highfalutin Apple TV league. All right? Get your shit together.
They're using it for leverage because the refs, if they're crap, the new refs they have brought in during the strike, it just gives more credence to the refs who are on the strike to say, look, this is why you need us, because these scrubs are in. It just gives them more power. So it's just both of them pulling and fighting, which, yeah. But just try to say don't talk about it is ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the biggest news story in MLS right now. Well, speaking of news stories, Chris, Will Arnett.
Big news, guys. Huge. He is non-respondent.
Oh. Not what I thought you were
but-
going to say, but
Keep bugging him.
we're working on our social medias.
first try.
He'll listen, Will. He'll know certain enough about the podcast.
That was a little better. You've been
I'm
practicing.
working on it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll get done again.
I like it.
Jackie boy.
Jackie.
Yeah, it's if there's a will, there's a way. Am I right? Yeah, I don't fucking know. Hey, but his Liverpool won in like the 97th minute, so I'm sure he's happy right now. That Darwin Nunez, man, I have a huge man crush on that guy. He not only is he devilishly handsome, but he's a very, very formidable player.
He's super good.
Oh, good old Liverpool. Nobody cares about Liverpool. You know what we
Agreed.
care about? We care about Blackburn versus Newcastle. Colonna, you watched that game. Can you give us a little recap why they played? Two different leagues?
Why they played? That was the FA Cup.
Yes,
I
sir.
believe. This was for that. It's hard to keep track with so much stuff going on. But man, I tell you what, Blackburn took it to Newcastle. They outplayed them thoroughly the first half. Second half was more competitive. We both had chances. Keepers both played amazing. Dubravka for Castle played incredible. And then our keeper, Ainsley Pierce. Do you know much sidebar about his dad? They played for Bournemouth, I believe. Piers. Yeah, I guess he played. Anyway, yeah, so he's our keeper. And then it ended up going to extra time, ended up going to penalty kicks, and we ended up Blackburn losing in penalty kicks. But we played them hard to get to penalties in an FA Cup final or, whatever, quarterfinal, whatever we're at this stage. But played them well. We lost just yesterday to Swansea, so that's not great in the league. So
that would have been such a huge upset if they took down Newcastle. That would have been
I was
crazy.
rooting for him. And for those not familiar, not as familiar with the soccer stuff, is Newcastle not only is in the Premier League in the top league in England, but they have a shitload of money. Blackburn is a tier below, and has struggled because of crappy owners. So it would have been cool if they kind of got that momentum from the FA Cup.
And Newcastle's 8th in the Premier League. They're no team like in the relegation battle or anything like that. Like they're a legit Champions League contender.
Yeah. But yeah, that was I wasn't able to watch a lot of MLS this weekend, unfortunately, but was able to attend that event, which was super awesome. And I will be going to the next one in Carlsbad to be determined the location. But
did they have? I know it was rainy. They should have like TVs and shit set up at these events, like with the MLS, like MLS 360 on. That would be rad.
That would
but
be cool.
Obviously they didn't know this one was the rain. But I feel like maybe we should do that. Just bring a couple TVs and set them up. I'll bring my generator.
That'd be cool. It's not like we're charging anybody to watch it or just watching it ourselves. If they want to look over our shoulders, that's perfectly acceptable.
Free country.
That sounds good to me. Let's talk about our fantasy teams.
Keegan really feels it every time. I love it.
I love that song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sweet
Yeah.
I'm also a
Mariah.
big Mariah Carey fan. I don't even want to talk about my fantasy team. I'm embarrassed. I mean, one of the nice things about having all this recorded is I get to say things like, "I saw Luis Suarez play and he looked slow and he was limping, and so I took him off my team." Ha 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 ha! And then he scores a brace within 11 effing minutes the very next game. So that was super sick. Everybody can see how little I know about soccer. That's fun. I'm in 5th place out of 7, like a loser. So yeah, fantasy is going super good for me for the MLS side of things.
For MLS, I had a pretty good week again. Top scorer in the league, actually, 96
Whatever.
points.
Okay.
Fuck you, Nate. And who did I play? Played. Oh, sorry, Trev. Producer Trev. He had a good week too. 96-76. Good game. But, when you have Lionel Messi on your team and he's your captain and he goes out there and scores 2 goals, it's
You know
tough.
what? I'm gonna say something that might sound contradictory. I've been known for being that guy, but I think Lionel Messi is pretty damn good at soccer.
Oh my God! How could you say that?
There you go, getting us canceled again.
I know.
There's things that are extreme. That's just too extreme. I don't think we can have that here.
No, I'm winning in head to head, beating Stu.
Dude,
But-
it's over, isn't it? The game week's over.
Oh yeah, last time I looked, they were still calculating, but yeah, it should be over. Bringing subs in and all that stuff. Yeah. So MLS fantasy not going well for me, going well for Chris and everybody else.
How about you guys? How'd you call and Keegan? Looks like you two
why don't
played
you
each other.
to explain how it went?
I'll take the reins on this one. Colin and I played. Luckily for me, I had Suarez. Had over half of my points. I had him as my captain. B-call 75-63. But also, Miles Robinson, my defender, got me 10 points, which is huge.
He had a goal, didn't he? Didn't he score this
Yeah.
week?
Yeah, he had a huge week, so that's kind of what bumped me over the line. But yeah, Suarez with what
40
he did.
points.
40 points for Suarez.
Serious?
Shit.
I had 75 total points, 40 came from Suarez. So sorry, Cole.
Oh, he assisted 2 goals and he had 2 goals
Suarez
and 2
looked-
assists.
Suarez
Hey,
looked
my dad-
incredible, man.
My dad listened to the podcast and he texted me and he said, "What are you, some type of commie taking Suarez off your team?" So he's gonna think that's pretty funny,
Well, my team are not commies, and we had Suarez, and
Damn it,
but
hell.
it bumped me up head to head. Let's see. I think I'm second head to head, and then our total points league, I was like almost last. Bumped me up like 3 positions, so I'm mid table there now. So good week overall.
Damn.
Yeah, I am. I'm in 2nd place in the overall, and I believe Ari Empanadas and Churros is the position
Hungry.
number 1. 195. I got 189 points.
I'll revamp my team. We'll get through there.
Old Stu is
Absolutely.
struggling.
Or
Yeah,
Stu.
that's okay. Okay. Thanks for joining the league. We also play obviously in the English Premier League fantasy with the San Diego Premier League and with that crew. And I'm beating JJ and we'll win this week, I'm sure. But I would like to remind everybody of last week's conversation when we were
Yes.
talking about I was going to play Colonial and I was
at him.
whipping him.
Look at him
Oh.
go. Look at him. He's
And
dancing.
he said
He's
the
feeling
only
it.
way that I could
Doing the
win
whole
is
dance.
if Bowen scores a hat trick, and we all laughed and we laughed and we laughed. And then Bowen went and scored his first hat trick ever. That's his first hat trick, by the way. First professional hat trick.
That was
If I
insane.
win this year, I'm getting a Gerard Bowen West Ham kit, my friend.
Dude, Jared Bowen, he is. I used to think he was. It's funny. I used to think he was Welsh for a long time because he spells his name all weird. Gerard, Jarrod. Just spell it
Englishman,
normal,
baby.
Jared. You weirdo. But they sing.
It was
What?
wild. We were texting with each other because obviously the day before we had recorded this and we mentioned the hat trick thing, and sure enough, like I don't know, I think 20, 30 minutes in, Nate was like, "God damn it, Bowen's gonna get a hat trick," and he did. And Colin won. It was
It was
wild.
so nice.
Shit.
It was so
Kismet.
nice to be on that side of things. That is like someone who has experienced a lot of the other way in fantasy. It was nice to have one go that way. It was fun, Nate. I'm
Well,
sorry.
speaking of which, this week,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's exactly in Premier
But,
League.
I did
Playing my
want
brother.
to.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up
Ooh.
the Bowen song though. Jared Bowen. They sing a song for him. He's married to a woman named Danny Dyer, which is weird. You might be asking why is it weird, and I'll tell you, Keegan. It's because her dad's name is Danny Dyer.
What?
her name is Danny Dyer.
Right.
Yep. And her dad's name is Danny Dyer. So a man named Danny Dyer named his daughter Danny Dyer.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's a big West Ham fan too. So his daughter, Danny Dyer, ended up marrying a West Ham player. Isn't that kind of weird? A little too on the nose.
Well, I mean, we're living in a simulation, so it doesn't really matter. What's the song?
Yeah.
So they sing Bowen is on fire and he's shagging Danny Dyer.
That's
Can you
awesome.
sing it for us?
No, I'm not a singer. I don't want to do that.
Come on.
I don't want to turn off any potential listeners with me trying to sing on here.
Is it like Billy Joel, like something Danny Dyer? It was always
I don't-
burning when the
I
boat
don't
was
know.
turning. That'd be.
I
that's
don't
actually
know
good.
what the melody
That's-
comes from,
hey.
to be totally honest with you. Nope, do not know. But yeah, that was go ahead, Christopher. You're playing Colonial this week and SDPL.
Yeah. I'll call. Hot brother.
Yeah, you pretty much smoked me. Keegan smoked me in one league. You smoked me in the other league. I mean, what do you want from me? Yeah, you beat me. Good job.
I historically have not been very good in the Premier League fantasy, so I'm excited that my team is performing this year. I'm working my way up the table. I think I'll be in second place after this week because Shane lost. But Nate won. But yeah, I beat Colin 53-26. And it helps when you have the top scoring player in all of the Prem, who is Ollie Watkins this year.
There is one more game I have an Arsenal defender, but it's not going to matter.
Correct.
We'll see. What if he scores a hat trick?
Unless he scores 2 goals and gets
No,
a clean sheet, then
no.
he beats you.
I'm going to edit this out.
Before.
Do it.
He's summoning the demons.
I'm not. No. Yeah.
Keegan, how'd you do?
Great.
Okay, moving on. Trevor, speaking of Shane losing, Trevor's the one who beat up on Shane 50-26.
Trev. Much appreciated.
We needed that.
The league needed that.
Yeah, I mean, he still has Saka, to be fair, who is, has the potential to put up a hat trick, but that would still have to be some huge numbers. Trev has.
He's no Gerard Bowen.
Trev is a Arsenal defender, so I mean, it's over. I hope I didn't just jinx him.
Oh, God.
Knock on wood.
I hope not. I need him. I need Trev to win.
Quacks.
We all need Trev to win.
But yeah, that's pretty much it on fantasy. And usually we do a quiz game and it's a competition, but tonight we're gonna do something a little bit different. And I call this segment "They Took Our Jobs."
Yeah.
And I wanted to do something a little different. So one, I wanted to be part of the game too, so I can add my 2 cents in. And it doesn't have to be a competition. Flex the creative muscles that you guys have, that I know you fellas have. So what I'll do is I will name a soccer player or coach, something like that, and then we can talk about what jobs they might do outside of soccer if they never became, involved in soccer as a coach or a player.
Do we need a pen and paper or no?
No.
Okay.
Shoot from the hip.
I like it. That's a great idea.
Alrighty. First step. And I'll give mine if you guys want. I have my own thoughts on.
You go first, so we understand how this works.
Yep, that's what I figured. Greg Berhalter, if he never got involved in soccer or never was a professional player or coach, I think he would have ended up as a shoe salesman in a high-end women's shoe store.
He is very much into his shoes, so that checks out for sure.
Yeah.
Sex therapist.
Oh,
No
he just
context. No reason.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
Longshoreman.
All right.
Just because.
One of those. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He strikes me as one of those employees at Chuck E. Cheese that wears the suits and walks around and like tries to entertain the children.
Here's Greggy.
Amazing.
Yeah, here's Greggy.
Oh,
I like it. I like him. All right. That was Greg Berhalter. Next up, we have Clint Dempsey. I'm gonna say he'd be a DJ who still pushes his rap EP.
Dude, I was gonna say. I mean, well, he does rap, so I was gonna say rapper. All right. If he's not rapping, then he's probably like a very, very sleazy and unsuccessful sports agent.
It's kind of got to go down the same route. I was going to say, like, failed high school coach. He's just an alcoholic who just screams at his team the whole time. He's fired for beating a child.
You guys better
Jesus.
never go to Nagadocious. He's gonna whip you. He's gonna whip your ass.
Yeah, get the hell out of the run.
For the record, I'm a huge Clint Dempsey fan.
I love Clint. Yeah, just,
I think we all have one of his jerseys. Anyways,
yes.
Yep.
So he's a very successful insurance agent.
Ooh.
Oh, there you
I
go.
like it.
what
State
type of
Farm.
insurance?
Yeah, State Farm.
Keen Island plans.
No, whatever.
I didn't hear the question. I was
Life
just trying to think
insurance.
it like I did hear it. I didn't hear the
Yes,
question.
ending. I love it. That's I love it.
That's a good job.
Next up, Hugo Lloris. I'm gonna say a driver for foreign diplomats.
Yeah, I like the driver aspect. I feel like a French taxi cab driver.
And you're in good hands, you know. Get it?
Oh, that would be another State Farm thing. Good hands. Isn't that
Oh
the
yeah, fuck.
slogan? Keegan?
Me, barista.
Yeah.
Is he's French?
We.
So I'd say he's probably an interpreter for the French military.
Oh.
Seems like he
Okay.
has that kind of I get you out of
Okay.
trouble.
French Foreign
I
Legion
get
style.
you into trouble as well.
Nate, don't go first on this one. I want you
This
to go
next
last
one?
on this next one. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know who it is?
How could I possibly know who it is?
That's why I'm like, how do you know?
No,
I
you've
didn't
gone first every time. I want someone else to
Okay.
go first.
All right. Luis Suarez.
What if I said it? Oh, damn.
Oh, I know what.
Dentist. Dentist.
Donkey. One of those guys in TJ who paints a horse like a donkey. Paints a donkey like a zebra and he trains him. Oh, I fucking dead. Edit that out.
No
Edit that out.
way.
No.
No shit.
Amazing.
You have
Yeah,
another,
something with-
Keegan? Jesus Christ.
Oh, that was terrible.
Sorry, Carl, go ahead.
Something with
Join the party!
exactly something with the teeth definitely comes to mind. But I'm just gonna. I imagine him butcher. What is that meat that you have on the side of the road in the where it's like there's just shaving
yes.
off like slices of meat.
Like a gyro.
Yeah,
kind of like a euro. I just imagine he
Shawarma,
has like a, little,
whatever.
like a food booth. And he's
Kebab.
just, like doing that. Yeah, get
But
some kebab.
They also do it for like Autobata, I think, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I just said Hitman. I just have Hitman on mine.
Accurate.
And then this is the last one. I only had 5 tonight. I had no idea how this would go, but we'll have more next time around. But last on the list, Brad Guzan. Somebody else want to go first?
Let me go first. Yeah. He would have been a good sea captain, kind of like a Deadliest Catch sea captain type fellow. You know, he's crabbing out there with his mates, running the helm.
Yeah, with the cig sticking out of his mouth.
Yeah, he's just chain smoking. Oh, you know,
I was gonna say, Benihana chef, sitting at the table, cooking everything up, doing the little onion tower with steam. I think that'd be fantastic.
Chris Farley.
Yeah.
Ohio, konbanwa! Ohio, konbanwa!
He throws the shrimp and then he grabs it. He's like, ooh.
In her
He
cleavage.
gets like the scarf and like on the grill.
Yeah, he's mixing it up.
Is that Hollywood Ninja or whatever that was? With
Beverly
Chris
Hills
Farley?
Beverly
Ninja.
Hills
Beverly Hills
Ninja.
Such a good movie.
Man.
It's a
I'm
good
not
So
movie.
good.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I don't know why, but he kind of reminds me of Mr. Penguin, like the villain in Batman. Danny DeVito played Mr. Penguin. You see him waddling around, be like, "I'm gonna get you, Batman."
Rob in front of people.
Exactly.
Big
Yeah.
cigarette holder. Like
Yeah.
out this far.
Now I put a third grade teacher who plays in a cover band.
It's pretty good.
What do they cover? What genre?
Aerosmith, something dorky like that.
Just
say Zeppelin
strictly
or something.
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty dorky.
Man. I had a quiz game of my own, but don't know why I'm bringing this up because I can't remember what it was.
Well, I'm all ears. If anybody wants to surprise us with one episode and just come up with their own, have at it. The floor is yours. Keegan, you brought up. I was going to bring up just some other soccer news. I mean, the U.S. women's team was beaten on Colombia when I came into the room to set up for tonight's episode. So that's the CONCACAF women's. That's still going on. So the U.S. should progress there, which they should. And then what else? Keegan, you brought up a game.
Yeah, big game next Sunday, 8:45. Liverpool versus City. Liverpool's, I think, 2 points ahead right now of City at the top of the table, so that's going to be a massive game. Actually, excuse me, 1 point. Next weekend. So if you want to watch a really good game, high stakes for the Premiership, that's not at 5 a.m. That's going to be a really, really interesting game to watch next week because it'll basically determine who's going to be top of the table. So should be fun, and it's at Liverpool as well. So yeah, it'll be a great game. Mm-hmm.
The Waves their season starts soon. We should all I don't know when you're going to be in town next call, but the four of us should go to a game soon. Challenge Cup is Friday, March 15th. That's at Red. That's in New York, but they'll be at Snapdragon on Saturday, March 23rd.
Nice.
And then again on the 29th. So we should get to a game. I haven't been to a wave game. I'd really like to.
Dude, they're awesome. And went to the opening game last season. And that makes sense because the Chrome Ball event in Carlsbad is the 24th. And maybe that's why. It's because the Wave opening game is the 23rd. That would make sense. But they also did one thing I forgot to mention was that they did a kit launch. And their jerseys are really dope.
For the Wave, right?
Yeah, for the Wave.
Okay.
They're sick, dude. They look so nice.
If SDFC did that's going to be like an emergency podcast, freak 100%. Out, and we're all going to be crying, tears of joy.
Heck yeah!
No, but the Wave stuff was really awesome, and one of them is actually based on like a San Diego sunset, and that's obviously a very famous thing about San Diego's our sunset, so it's pretty cool.
Wait, the sun sets on the west?
I know. It's
South.
Oh,
that
man.
note, we're ending it, everybody. We're calling it.
Wait, hold on. Here comes Keegan down the wing. Doesn't matter, he doesn't get enough.
Oh, man.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Nice.
All right, good night,
boys.
everyone.
Good game.
Good game. Beep, boop, beep, 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 boop.